ones who've lost their touch. You rigged the game, you changed the rules. Gaslit the world, played us for fools. But tides have turned, the storm is near. Cry all you want, we're still here. Faithful, fuck around and find out. You tried to rule, but your time ran out. Faithful, the silent will stay quiet now. We're taking back what you burned to the ground. Censorship, lockdowns, all your control. Built your throne on a house of gold. Now you panic, now you cry. Tears don't work, truth don't lie. The games are done, the mask fell off. No more lies, we've had enough. You played with fire, now taste the flame. This time, we're naming names. Faithful, fuck around and find out. You tried to rule, but your time ran out. Faithful, the silent won't stay quiet now. We're taking back what you burned to the ground. You called us threats, you called us extreme, but we remember everything. From 24 and beyond, take your bets, 'cause guess what? We ain't done yet. Faithful, fuck around and find out. Your kingdom's crumbled, your luck ran out. Faithful, no more games, no more doubt. You lit the fire, now it's burning you down. When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlling freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might.
Hello, everyone, and happy afternoon. This is Hump Day, and hopefully you guys are having a great day. If you missed the live stream this morning, you can go back and watch it on the replay crew. If not, maybe this one will be just as good, if not better. Going to drink a little coffee. We're going to talk a little smack today. Looks like the Pilgrim, first Rose, not two, vegan cookies, good news. Go check out his YouTube channel. You're deterred. You're deterred. I've got some sound flipping through here. I need to mute that. There we go. That way we don't have any echo issues. We don't want no echo issues. That's a serious, serious problem. I don't want to complete the setup. I need to get on that link. And that is where I need to be. Let's see here. What we got going on the chat already? So Rose says, since you'll be on vacay, no Thursday night Discord. That is correct. That is correct. Unfortunately, we do have things scheduled for that time period, or should I say that time slot? But yeah, it's vacation's vacation. So, civil defense prepping. Good to see you, bro. Pills, shots, medications, many over the counter. Yes, and we're going to discuss many of those things as well. Let's see here. Are made in India. Yes, India provides 40% of medications to the United States. That's right. Blaine, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Blaine Vogel, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so we covered all the bases here, and this one is kind of inspired by the fact that, one of the things that I do, guys, is I actually monitor the world from the command center back there that I keep telling you guys about. And I don't just watch YouTube videos because watching YouTube videos, unless you're getting some kind of educational out of it, is almost a way to. It's either education or entertainment. So I like to stick to 90% education when I'm doing stuff, 90% education and 10% um, uh, uh, entertainment. I like watching other crazy videos just like everybody else. And many of you have seen me in other people's live streams actually trying to learn something. So now you know that I'm just like you. Okay. Ian showed up. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Rose says life takes res, re, residence, no problem. Night precedence, no problem. Just wanted to make sure. No, I appreciate it, Rose. And I'll put something out in the on the members only Discord, letting people know. Obviously, you're not going to hear from me until the 13th. Now, I have another video that's queued up right now. It may pop. It may have popped already. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow or something like that. Also, I've made a couple of videos for the alternate channel. If you're not aware of that, that is red, white, and real. I'm starting to do little short videos over there about stuff that kind of makes sense, but it's like, yeah, someone just has. It's like, okay, I'll say it. Just problems. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I read through it, Rose. We're good. We're good. I read right through what you were talking about. We're like this. We're like this. Just picking up what you were laying down. Okay, so with that said, man, I need some coffee. I need some coffee. I did not sleep well last night, and this is my second live stream, and I made a video today. Let's see. So something is shifting under the surface of the global economy. Now, shipping traffic is thinning out. Ports are quieter than they should be, and container ships leave China are running half empty. Even as we head towards what is usually a busy season, the slowdown isn't just a seasonal blip. It's a sign of deep pressure, and a lot of it traces straight back to tariffs. Now, tariffs are tightening the screws on companies that once moved goods freely across borders and are now grappling with higher costs for decisions and fewer shipments. Some are stockpiling inventory to get ahead of even higher prices. Others are cutting orders. They're kind of weary of passing new costs onto already strained consumers because we've been in a recession for 4 years that the people with blue ties will never admit to. Now, either way, the effect is the same. Fewer goods moving across oceans and onto shelves. When trade shows, uh, the risk starts, when trade shows, the risk um, starts piling up. It's like a slowdown in shipping, and it often shows up before the bigger cracks in the economy become obvious. It can lead to rising prices as supply chains tighten, slower growth as trade grinds down, more inflation pressure at a time when rates are already a major concern, eroding customer confidence. Especially in shelves starting to thin out. So the risk of a deeper economic slowdown is getting harder to ignore. Now, there are other people out there in the preparedness space that have been like, oh, doom and gloom, it's coming, get ready. The 27 items you better buy right now and stick up your butt. I mean, it's a little redundant to talk about things like it's like, well, the more time we have to prepare for it, the more prepared we'll be. Really? Really? Are you serious? At this point, the people who follow this channel, at this point, do you really need half a year to prepare for something that you know is coming in a couple of months? No, you should be plussed up. You should be at like 80% operational speed right now. No questions asked. Class class has been in session for months, and you should have been picking up what I've been laying down. It's that easy. Now, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and check out the poll. If you haven't voted, that's okay. If there's 4 votes in the poll and there are 13 people in here, and you do not have to vote yet, as usual. I'm just letting you know it's there because I actually got it like set up before I even turned the video on, which is pretty cool. So, when will the U.S. supply chain shortages start? 50% believe that mid-June of this year. Another 25% believe late July. Another 25% are early June. And 0% believe early July. So people are speculating. They're already forming opinions. They have a thought pattern that is like, hey, something's coming. And this is how rapidly it's getting here. We don't know exactly when it'll be here, but it's really getting hard to ignore. It's really getting hard to ignore. Now, if I go to the chat here, it looks like where are we at here? Miko's like, oh, the horror. Uh, Rose says, "Well, at least it's the return won't be a Friday the 13th." So, getting stressed about the girlfriend on the trip? No, not at all. She had her immunotherapy today. She had zero problems with it, which is great because she's been having some issues with some radiating pain, some heart palpitations, things like that, where they had to like adjust the drip basically. And so, but this one time, no problems whatsoever. We fully expect to begin our process as soon as we can, which will be tomorrow sometime. All right, so getting into the meat of the potatoes of it, something is brewing beneath the surface, and the slowdown in global shipping is a glaring signal. The data backs up this. Global container shipping volumes have been declining with what they call the Baltic Dry Index. You guys should probably look it up. It actually can depict whether we're going to have a problem. It's like the one index you can find out on the internet that can actually tell you whether someone's going to have a bad day as far as the country supplies go. Now, the Baltic Dry Index is a key measure of shipping activity, dropping significantly in recent months. Now, reports from major ports like Shanghai and Los Angeles show reduced throughput, and container rates, while still above pre pandemic levels, have softened from their 2021 to 2022 peaks. Half-empty ships leaving China are particularly telling, as this is a critical artery for global trade. So basically, the ships are neither pulling into or pulling out of the Chinese ports because the ships are being redirected to move things in other places. Interesting stuff, guys. Interesting stuff. Let's see here. Presently, the stores have been having cutbacks on the shelf. Can order online to have it delivered to your store, to your home, or is at another store locally. Yes, we are starting to see. I have noticed in the last 2 days because you guys know I love to go to Walmart, right? Um, in the last 2 days, I have started to see it's not like super evident. It's more like my spidey senses are tingling as I'm walking through some of the aisles there at Wally World and noticing that there's like certain things that just don't appear to be there anymore. They're like, for instance, Q-tips. I went to buy a pack of Q-tips today, and the only thing there was only like the big like 1,000 Q-tips made by the company, the real company, which is what I use. That's the best. And there was a handful of the Walmart brand left there. So interesting. If one of the Q-tip market, one of the Q-tips on the black market is a thing I need to stock up on. All right. Actually, it started 2 or 3 weeks ago. I believe it. I believe it. Like I said, it has everything to do with where you are during that thing we cannot speak about. The Walmart here on the Eastern Shore of Virginia, the only one there is, it covers like 60 miles. It's basically it's for 60 miles worth of highway is what this Walmart is for. It services. That's the word I'm looking for. 60 miles. The entire Eastern Shore of Virginia it services, and we didn't have very many supply issues whatsoever, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. All right, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Ah, we're going to continue on our merry little way. Now, tariffs are a major driver here. The US and EU have ramped up tariffs on Chinese goods. US tariffs on certain imports are now as high as 25% under recent policies, with threats more to come. With threats of more to come, that is. This is forcing companies to rethink supply chains. Some are front loading imports to beat tariff hikes, causing temporary spikes in inventory. Now, U.S. retail inventories were up 4.8% year over year in Q3 of 2024. Others are slashing orders to avoid getting stuck with high cost goods, especially as consumer demand wanes. And global retail sales growth is projected to slow to 2.1% in 2025, per the International Monetary Fund's estimates. The ripple effects are textbook economics, but brutal in practice. Supply constraints. Fewer shipments mean tighter goods availability, pushing up prices. Core inflation in the U.S. is hovering around 3.2, and any supply squeeze could nudge it even higher. And then you've got something what they call growth drag. Trade is a major engine of global GDP, and the World Trade Organization projects global trade growth to fall to 2.7% in 2025 from its current standing of 3.4% of last year if the tariffs escalate. Now, inflation pressure is something else. Higher import costs and supply chain friction could force central banks to keep rates elevated, with the Fed signaling no rush to cut from the current 4.75, 5.0 range. And consumer impact is if shelves thin out, confidence takes a hit. U.S. consumer sentiment is already shaky, with the University of Michigan index at 70.1 in April of 2025, down from 76.8 a year ago. Now, we're starting to get into the meat and potatoes of these stuff is. Let me go ahead and check the chat here real quick here. Miko says um, tobacco products media United States check. Okay, so basically you're saying check you've got the products, or we should be checking those products and possibly putting them in our stocks. I think it's probably both, but inquiring minds want to know. That is faux show. Oh my goodness. Grumpy Acres Farm showed up. Looky there. Whenever I'm talking about the important stuff, he shows up. If I'm talking about doom or gloom or, hey, you need to do this and you need to do that, he's nowhere to be found, man. But I swear to God, whenever I'm talking about the important intelligence stuff, he just kind of he appears. He appears. It's almost like I've said his name and he will appear. What's up, dude? Q2 growth will be higher than Q1. It will look good. If the tariff battle is still going, shortages will start to be really evident by the end of Q2. Yes, absolutely. It has a lot to do with the dates. January, February, March, April, May, June. January, February, March, Q1. April, May, June, Q2. And the beginning of Q3. So exactly just what he said, man. What he said. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, I fully expect the tariffs to work, but I also expect that there's going to be lots of pushback and there's going to be lots of crying from the people who wear the blue ties. Like, oh, the sky is falling, the world's ending. We have to go back to the way things were. Spend, 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 spend. We did this during that thing we can't speak about. We just spend, 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 and we saved the world by passing out checks. Yeah, no, we're not doing it this time. It's going to be the exact opposite way. When we're making anywhere from $200 to $500 billion a week in tariffs, yeah, I think we're going to keep doing that. Let's see here. I want to see LP painting a happy little SHTF like Bob Ross, not doom and gloom. Oh, and see this little happy. That would be fun to do. It'd be fun to do. The girlfriend's father was a very prominent artist, and I guarantee she could teach me exactly how to do that stuff, like what to say and how to act and stuff like that, right? But yeah, it might actually be funny. All right, so here's the thing. The bigger worry is, what this portends. If you don't know the word, look it up, please. Shipping slowdowns often precede broader economic trouble. Look at 2008, when the Baltic Dry Index collapses, foreshadowing or foreshadowed the financial crisis. We're not there yet, but the combination of tariff-driven trade disruptions, high interest rates, and geopolitical tensions, the U.S.-China decoupling. If you guys aren't catching that, the decoupling. This is what is in process right now. U.S.-China decoupling. We are disconnecting from their markets because they are raping us. Basically, they're raking us over the coals taking it, they're eating our lunch and we're not having it anymore. So now we're going to disconnect from their markets and look for different things. And, it's disconnecting from their markets is actually a byproduct of these tariffs because it's cause and effect. The tariffs force the Chinese government, the CCP, to shut down factories instantly and close those doors. So now there's a disconnect. All right. So think about that, and then also Red Sea issues, which are supposedly getting fixed right now. Basically, the Houthis are like, oh, you guys are serious. We're okay. Game over, man. Game over. You know, if you know the movie, you know the movie. Put it in the chat. All right. Let's see. It's basically a perfect storm for supply chain issues. Now, um, Tim says, I'm requesting you to start growing out the afro now. I couldn't grow an afro if I to save my life. My hair is long and straight. It's part of my genetics. It's part of my genetic profile, my genetic makeup. All right, let's see. Rose says, then for history buffing you, visit uh, Muncie, Indiana to see Bob Ross Studio. Here, help contribute to our local economy and those you travel through to get here. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's where I didn't know he had his own, well, obviously he had a studio, but I didn't know there was like a place dedicated to him. It's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Bob Ross. All right. So on the flip side, some argue this could force a healthy reorientation, which I believe it will do. More regional supply chains, less reliance on China. But that's a long-term pivot, and the short-term pain is going to be very real. Now, companies are stuck choosing between eating higher costs, and consumers are already stretched. U.S. household debt to income ratio are creeping up to around 9.8% in the fourth quarter of 2024. So it's definitely getting up there thanks to Captain Blue Tie. Now, based on the available data and some expert analysis, supply shortages in the U.S. Are going to be due to the global shipping slowdown, and tariffs could start becoming 145% tariffs on Chinese imports implemented in April have led to a sharp drop in shipping. Why did it do that? This damn thing is anyway. That's my YouTube's is telling me I'm doing something wrong, but everything's running fine. Um, This has led to a sharp drop in shipping. Now, container bookings from China to the U.S. are down by 60%. Let that sink in for a second, guys. Container shipping to the U.S., or should I say container bookings from China to the U.S., are down 60%. And port arrivals at Los Angeles are projected to be 33 to 35% lower year over year in early May. So it's already starting. It's already starting. If you guys saw the thumbnail, that was an empty port. There was a reason for that picture. Now, the inventory buffer is the next thing that we need to talk about. So the first thing we talked about was like, hey, the ships aren't moving, the containers aren't moving, nobody's booking them. We're looking at a 30 or 60% like decline. It's down 60%, ships being booked, containers being booked for out of China. Okay. That means that, hey, it's not on the way. If it's in the ships already, whatever, it's going to get here. Maybe the companies were like, buy more, and then they stocked up. We don't know. We don't know how it's going to hit us because it's going to be pick and choose between the companies. But um, the next thing is what they call the inventory buffer. Now, retailers are going to stockpile goods. Well, hopefully they have if they were smart. Unfortunately, what I've figured out is that the people that are crying about the business owners that are crying about the tariffs are the same business owners who did not buffer their inventory. They didn't buffer their inventory. They sat on their guffs, and they're depending on that that 3-day supply system to work just fine and everything's going to be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they're going to complain later about how their businesses we had to shut our businesses down because of tariffs. But you know what? You may have been able to like stretch your business out 1, 2, 3 months. Normally it's a quarterly issue with businesses. Um, if you had buffered, if you had done things to preempt these issues, okay, or to mitigate these issues, but many of them did not do it. So, retailers are stockpiled goods before the tariff hit, giving them an estimated 5 to 7 weeks of inventory for many products as of late April. Now, these delays. Or should I say, this delays the immediate impact, doesn't eliminate it. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is shipping lead times. But I'm going to go to the chat here real quick and see what's going on. Tucson Prepper showed up. What's going on, Broseph? Let's see here. It's going to get crazy soon. Be ready. Yes, absolutely. Miko says, buy Americans, see your local farmers for meat and vegetables, plus some help to American help. Yeah, I mean, start creating those relationships. Okay, those relationships are what is going to get you through the hard times. Miko also says, in our factory, workers make cars. In our mechanics, they can go back to work and put in our cars back on the road. American cars. Gotcha, gotcha. I mean, it is what it is, man. Some of these companies are thinking proactively. Okay, and those are the companies that are going to survive now. Like I was saying before, you know what? I forgot. Let's check the poll here real quick. We've got 12 votes, and we got 16 people in the live stream. And the question is, when will U.S. storage shortages start? People are like, well, they already started. I guess the question is, I should have probably reworded the question to like, when do you think we'll actually see the effects? And 33% say mid-June, 25% say early June, 25% say late July, 17% say early July. Let's see, local farmers markets, absolutely vegan, absolutely vegan cookies, good reviews. All right, so let's talk about what we got here? We are still in that segment. Shipping lead times. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks for goods to cross the Pacific and reach U.S. ports, plus additional time for distribution. The current booking freeze, should I say, and canceled sailings, 25 to 30% of the voyages, mean new shipments are barely moving. So the pipeline is drying up. Now, experts warn. And the National Retail Federation predicts a 20% drop in imports in the second half of 2025 if tariffs persist, with shortages hitting low-cost goods like apparel, toys, and electronics first. So all the things that we don't really care about. You probably got clothes. If you need a new pair of shoes, get them now. You know what I'm saying? If you think you need to do Christmas shopping and you got the cash, knock it out. Okay. We went through this during the thing we can't talk about. It's that easy. We know this stuff. We've lived through this. It's coming again, guys. It's coming again. Somebody just gave me 99. Oh, vegan. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. Everybody make sure you hit that like button for vegan. Appreciate you, bro. I wish I could do more. And then analysts like Torsten Slock, he works for Apollo Government Management, and Craig Fuller of Freight Waves point to late June or July for visible shortages, especially during the back to school season. Yeah, you got that? It's like these people that think about these analysts that think about these issues, they don't think like we do. They don't. It's like summer isn't even here. We haven't got our brains wrapped around that one yet. Summer vacation isn't even here, but they're already like back to school. Why? Because that's part of the economy. Now, summer's almost here. Got AC supplies? There you go. So there's a guy, Ryan Peterson, out of what they call a company called Flexport. He noted that even if tariffs are lifted soon, restarting supply chain could take months due to distributed shipping rhythms, which we have seen. We have seen that back in the days of that thing. You remember those? It's like, oh, you remember all the the trucks that were lined up out of Los Angeles port couldn't get shipping containers put on their trucks fast enough. You remember those? So we could be expecting some stuff like that. Now, what's at risk? Shortages are most likely for Chinese-made goods like footwear, apparel, toys, electronics, and perishables. Things like, believe it or not, apple juice and even fish. These could lead to empty shelves and higher prices, very reminiscent of the COVID era disruptions. And there's going to be some variables. There's going to be some variables. So, if tariffs are reduced or trade deals are stuck, shortages could be mitigated. But experts warn that supply chain recovery could still take weeks or months due to canceled voyages and repositioned ships. A lot of people don't think about that. You got this ship who's usually going back and forth between China and California, right? But then they're like, well, the company that owns the ship doesn't make any money if it doesn't get used, so it's got to go someplace. And that ship may find itself in the Mediterranean. You know what I'm saying? They basically take it out of cycle, put it someplace else where it can earn some money. So that's something to think about. And of course, a sudden surge in rebookings could also spike shipping rates, delaying restocking. Hey, I've got to move that ship out of the Med back over to the Pacific, and so yeah, it's going to cost some money to do that. You know, and getting down to the nitty gritty, the timeline, because that's what really everybody's here for is the timeline. The timeline hinges on whether tariffs ease and how fast supply chains adapt. And we could be looking for a more precise method or even more detailed things, but you know um, different regions and goods are going to feel the pinch and at slightly different times. And there's no way around it. There's no way around it. We've chosen this path, and the path is good. We'll feel the pain. We've been told we're going to feel the pain. But the people who aren't listening are the people that are not going to be prepared when this happens. They're going to be the same people that were screaming bloody murder during the COVID, that immediately had to run to buy up all the toilet paper and act foolish. So we can expect that. Now, as preppers, what can we do to mitigate that? Well, we just continue to prepare. Think about the goods and products that you need, that you're going to want, that you may see start to leave the shelves again, right? And so just make sure that you have those stored away. It's really that easy. If you're still using COVID toilet paper, put a one in the chat, because yeah, I still got a ton of that stuff. Um, and in fact, I may go buy some more just because it's not expensive right now, and it might be very expensive here in the near future. You know what I'm saying? I remember during the COVID, and I can't believe I'm saying COVID over and over. COVID, 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 COVID. Let's see what happens in the live stream. Let's see if I get a COVID marker on the bottom of it. Anyway, um, I remember the worry that we were going to run out of toilet paper. So like I ordered some online, and it was just the worst toilet paper ever, and it took 6 weeks. So if you're one of those people that lives online, that orders everything online, you might want to think about the what you can get your hands on right now to increase your stockpile so that your level of preparedness is increased. So you can literally just when it all starts to burn, you just sit on your porch smoking a cigar, drinking some whiskey or some brandy, and you've got your rocket launcher right next to you in your rocking chair. You know what I'm saying? And you can just watch it all burn in the distance, so you don't got to play those reindeer games. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to go to the chat here. Open up companies back up here. You don't have to worry about supply chains. Yeah, as long as they have suppliers that are in here in America. That's the beef. That's people talk about people talk about like small businesses coming back. Well, those small businesses still need suppliers unless they produce their own product, which is rare. Okay, then they still need suppliers here in the United States or from other countries that can fill the gap that China would leave. Unfortunately, there are a lot of small businesses that are going to be forced to close here in the next couple of months because they've got they are so um, their product base is populated by China and they're dependent on it. And if they're not looking for other suppliers, then or they can't find other suppliers, that either in here in America or abroad, then they're going to have a bad day. They're going to have a bad day. Let's see here. Let's see. So Tim, good to see you, bro. So grandkid number 7 arrives today, and the world takes another step towards being over. Don't worry about it. The kid will be tough. Don't worry about it, man. Congratulations, congratulations. Let's see. Roach says that's why I see the non-winning NFL shirts and others in India on other locations. The grasshoppers who called preppers hoarders. Yeah, I don't remember that one, Tuck. The grasshoppers. I guess that was something I didn't catch on to. Let's see. And you're proud of me for saying that word COVID. You're so proud of me for saying it. Uh, you're very welcome, Tim. You're very welcome. Okay, guys. So this live stream it was never meant to last an hour. Analysts or something that you guys want to talk about or want me to talk about, you're going to need to put it in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to shut this puppy down. And this will be my last stream until May 13th. Just FYI, if you're not paying attention to your calendar or the other live streams. So I'm going to sip some coffee right now. I'm going to sip some coffee right now. I was going to talk to you guys about one of these other products that I support too, but I can't remember which one it is, to be honest with you. So it's just not fair. The ant and the grasshopper from Aesop. Ah, I see. I got you. The ant and the grasshopper. That's a good story. It's a good story. Very good analogy. Very good analogy. Such a rebel. Let's see here. I'll be missed. Whatever, dude. I'll probably check in from the road from time to time. I've got shorts that are lined up, but I'll probably do like some members only videos of that kind of thing. So, all right, guys. So hopefully you guys have heeded my warning and make sure that you take this seriously, like the adults that I know that you are, and make sure that you are prepared for when the time for the tightening of the belt comes, which is coming very, very rapidly. And I can tell you why. I generally so every Wednesday I either go to like a trivia. I always go to the same bar, right? And I'll go to trivia or I'll go to there's another one called Music Bingo. We do that. It alternates like every Wednesday, right? And so um if we go there and we eat and I have one or two adult beverages and the boy has a soda and the girlfriend has a water because that's her favorite drink, and we eat supper and we might have one or two desserts, we're going to walk out of there before the tip. It's about 78, $80. It's about 78 bucks. It should not be costing that much. And the drinks are cheap. The drinks are cheap. So, and I'm still getting, a fifth of brandy, well, not a fifth of brandy, but 3 fingers of brandy over ice, for $6 before taxes. You know what I'm saying? So the things are heating up. Things are becoming more expensive, and it's on top of us. It's just that it's kind of like I guess the analogy that I guess what I'm trying to tell you is if you don't take anything else from this live stream is that don't be that frog. Okay. The temperature is slowly getting turned up by the economy, by what is going on in the world, by tariffs, by the actions geopolitically of other countries as well as our own. The temperature is getting turned up. Don't be that frog. It's time to jump out of the pan. All right, guys, that's going to be about it. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out the door. And as usual, don't forget, May 13th is when I come back. Stay safe. Have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye bye.